I am Isaac Newton, known for my long hair, big brain, and expertise in math and engineering, as well as being a renowned researcher and one of the most famous scientists of all time. I have made important discoveries about how the world works and have invented useful gadgets. Another unique fact about myself is that I was born on the most thrilling day of the year, which is Christmas Day. If I were to be in your class, I would be approximately 382 years old, possibly making me the oldest boy in your school. We reside on a farm in Lincolnshire. Farms are detestable to me. I am here with my mother, who named me after my father, Isaac, who passed away just 3 months before my birth, missing the chance to meet me. I was born sooner than expected and was very little. My mom joked that she could fit me in a milk jug, although it would have to be a pretty large one. Not only was it already tough not having a father, but when I was just 3 years old, my mom chose to marry Mr. Smith, vicar from the neighboring village. Reverend Smith, to be precise. I wasn't included. They just left me with my strict grandmother and went off without me. I didn't see my mother until I turned 10, and when she returned, she sent me to school instead of letting me live with her. I had to stay with a resident at a nearby pharmacy on Main Street. Mr. Clark, a chemist who operated the local pharmacy, which was filled with various bottles, flowers, cans, and cups of coffee mixture, as well as products like bot cream, ointment, and unguents. It was a delight to explore all the different potions and creams while perusing his books on medicine making. I never had any issue with being alone, as I enjoyed practicing making things like windmills, reels, and machines. I made a kite, clocks, a sundial that tells time using the sun's shadow, and a water clock to count minutes. Back then, not many people had watches or wind-up clocks. Now it's time for a book. Reading was another passion of mine, despite my dad's inability to read and write, while my mom said he could barely write his name as I was enjoying school. Mother arrived and insisted I return to manage our farm, but I refused, stating that I am not skilled in farming and dislike all aspects of it. I prefer reading, books, mathematics, mechanics, and tools. Shortly after that, I was sent to Cambridge University, the top place for learning in the country. I arrived with my bag containing feather quill pens, ink, paper, candles, a candlestick, pajamas, tools, books, cheese, a beautiful cog, ruler, set square, padlock, key to lock my desk, and even my own pot for emergencies. The other students didn't seem very diligent, but luckily my college had a superb library, which was a blessing as books were scarce in those days and not many people had them at home. I had barely unpacked when the terrible illness hit our town. It was devastating. People were dying everywhere, and bodies were removed daily by horse and cart. It was too risky to remain, so we were all told to leave. I hurriedly returned to peaceful Woolsthorpe as soon as possible, enjoying being home again and reflecting in the garden. My mind was filled with all the knowledge from Cambridge. While sitting under an apple tree one evening, I was struck on the head by a falling apple. This made me ponder why things fall down. I often contemplate such questions, like why did this apple fall and not float or go up? This led me to theorize about an invisible force, which we now call gravity. It is like a giant magnet pulling everything toward the Earth, even on the opposite side of the globe. This new concept was a groundbreaking discovery and changed how we view the world. If you have a realization, do you share it with others? I don't understand why others can take credit for your brilliant ideas. As an example, I pondered the nature of light and how it is composed. Have you ever thought about what light is made of? I attempted to investigate by staring at the sun, but it was very painful and potentially blinding. In a different test, I attempted to insert a stick behind my eye and shake it to observe what I could observe. I must be crazy. Please do not attempt this. All I witnessed were numerous amusing colors drifting around, creating a rather uncomfortable situation. It prompted me to ponder their origins. Remember, I carried out this action so you wouldn't have to. Imagine if there were different hues within the visible light we see. Consider a rainbow or bubbles in your bath. They are filled with beautiful colors. So, where do these colors originate from? So, I purchased a prism, a solid glass triangle, and closed all the doors and windows before sitting in the dark room. I allowed a small amount of light to pass through the curtains onto the prism, causing the white light to split into various colors on the wall. I observed the colors of the rainbow, red, orange, and yellow. My cat kept opening the curtains, so I made a flap for her, which I later named a cat flap. Isaac Newton was the original creator of the cat flap, despite being the first to comprehend that light consists of a spectrum of colors. I continued to keep my idea a secret, just like the theory of gravity, taking extra precautions to prevent anyone from stealing it. After the plague was done, I returned to Cambridge and became the youngest mathematics professor at 26. Despite being engaging during my lectures, I sensed that not everyone was fully attentive. How can you also become a successful scientist like me? Working effectively is important, so focus on important tasks and ideas rather than trivial matters. Make sure to jot down any bright ideas you have, even if it's a simple note. Other professionals might waste time socializing instead of learning and problem solving. Personal hygiene is not a top priority, but rather understanding how light works and creating a telescope to observe distant objects like planets or stars. Remember how I excelled at crafting stuff? Well, I once created an amazing telescope that amazed everyone. People had never seen anything like it before. However, after many years of deep thinking and hard work, I started feeling down. I lacked sleep and a caring wife. I also got into arguments with others claiming credit for innovative ideas. I discovered something about gravity, but Bob Hooke claimed it was his idea, which frustrated me. However, a friend suggested a job at the Royal Mint, where I stopped people from making fake coins. Eventually, Queen knighted me for my achievements with a sword, making me a celebrity. I was getting old and tired after 85 years of hard work and not much sleep. I had lived a very important life, and I was given a funeral fit for a king in Westminster Abbey in London because I was dead. Yes, Sir Isaac Newton found out a lot about how the world works. Later, others added to my discoveries about what makes things fall and how things move, but they were not one of them anywhere near as clever as me.